Ebusuafo na etiefo ani di kwan so me ma obi bia akwaba eba channel so hayi daily update TV ebusua me pa cho ene parliament na Zanator Rawlings wenya akwanya no na so far we educate NPP for Afenyo man kene ne nkofo no of measures measures etimi combat insecurity a ewo Ghana hanom na ebusia security matters pa na we educate the minority the micro minority Afenyo man kene ne nkofo no Parliament de na very educative and so Afenyo market so pie ba bonten be ka no so de na ebusia me ma me kasa nya tintin ye be ne akohwe video ne etie nsem a course so ene nsem a Zanator Rawlings pie be kan regarding to security matters in Ghana nyakopon hira obibia na onye obibia kese kam ho na yenko ne nkotie nsem no me da se bebre
are very, very sound. And with regards to the establishment of a legal framework within the country, I am very keen on the fact that we find a way of integrating some of the modern technology that we can take advantage of, like tagging any cattle that end up in our jurisdiction in order to be able to track and trace. When you travel to any other country, you are meant to declare your goods. And nobody should feel that they can stray into the jurisdiction of Ghana without having to declare what they are bringing in. And cattle do not form any exemption to that, whether it's because of the disease risk or just being able to trace them to know where they are for the protection of our citizens as well as for them. Mr. Speaker, there should also be, as part of this legal framework, consideration in terms of stop and search, because there are so many unauthorized routes through which people enter the country that we cannot always be sure that what we're looking at as a group are people who went through authorized routes. So the concept of being able to stop and search some of these groups is important in order to be able to know whether they are carrying weapons that they are not meant to have for the protection of those that they shall encounter as well. So, Mr. Speaker, we have to make use of modern technology in terms of tagging animals that enter our jurisdiction and making use of our security service personnel to actually search some of these people who may be bringing into our jurisdiction weapons that may be used against our citizens. Mr. Speaker, in addition to that, we must understand that clearly things have changed now. We have nation states that have clear boundaries, and we cannot simply abide by the same ways we lived in the past. In the same way as a Ghanaian, I cannot just go into a country in East Africa without having the relevant documents because we are all African. We must recognize that things have changed, and we must respect some of these laws that protect our citizens and don't turn them into second-class citizens at the expense of protecting foreigners. Mr. Speaker, I would like to reiterate the appeal by Honorable Agalga and Enimado that we actually look at how we bring back documents that were used in previous parliaments and see how we can apply the recommendations that were made with those committees and see how we can make progress in how we address this issue, because this is a problem that is clearly not coming to an end because we are not taking decisive action on it. And so, Mr. Speaker, I would like to urge that any recommendation with regards to referral to any committee relating to security must include the subsidiary legislation committee as well. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
I've just had a discussion with the chief whip of our caucus on an application that was just made, and which application you granted. So I'd wanted to draw your attention to some fundamental facts for your consideration, if it so pleases you. Mr. Speaker, my respected colleague informs me that whilst dealing with the order paper, an application was made for variation for an addendum order paper item to be considered. I believe at the time the application came before you, you were not made aware of certain intervening matters. Hence, the granting of the application for the paper to be laid. Mr. Speaker, it is important to put on record that a fundamental administrative issue was raised. A memo was ferried to Mr. Speaker's office questioning the composition of the committee as well as the chairman's conduct. That memo has not been responded to. as a matter of right, Mr. Speaker would have to respond to the memo for all issues raised to be considered until we exhaust. It cannot be that this can be done, because, Mr. Speaker, if we are not careful and we set certain precedents, one day, it will come back and haunt this very house. Because Mr. Speaker set up the committee administratively, not through a motion or not through any effort of member of parliament. So we could only raise issue administratively. And there's a memo to his desk, which memo we added evidence of certain actions and pronouncements of the chair of the committee. The memo has not received a response. We've not dealt with the fundamental issues. How then can the chairman say that he is done with his work and he is laying the report when the preliminary issues that we have raised have not been addressed? Mr. Speaker, I am only bringing to the attention of this house that if today it suits one side of the house to proceed on a certain matter in a certain way, let the record reflect that someday, this matter will come up again and they will be referred to their own records. That's all I want to say.
Honorable Minority Leader, I think this issue crop up in your absence. The whips did very well, and the decision was taken that we should allow the paper to be laid, and thereafter there will be some engagement as to the way forward. Hence, the paper was laid. The consequential motions were accordingly deferred to abide by the decision that may come out of the engagement. So I believe the leaders are enjoined to engage on this matter. So that was the agreement that we have reached, and that was my directions.
Speaker,
Yes,
I thank you
Honorable
for
Majority Chief Whip.
I thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the leader is welcome. I was hoping that his comments would have been in respect of whether or not there was a procedural impropriety regarding the lane. Leader is senior to me in this house. If you had a correspondence with the speaker and you are not getting a feedback, leader knows that you could have sent a reminder. But that didn't happen. So I believe that he ought to send a reminder to the speaker and said, we have a memo in respect of this matter. It's been some time. So may we have some response? But the committee is an ad hoc committee. They were given some timeline, and their work is done. And when we got back on Tuesday, as part of the opening comments from leadership as well as from speaker himself, reference was made to outstanding referrals to committee, which reports were outstanding, and therefore there was an urgent need for those committees to get back to the House. So I believe that it was in response to such call for committees that have businesses to report back to the House. It was based on such the request that this committee has come today to lay its report. But like you said and agreed to, we laid the report. We haven't taken it. Further engagements are being had. So I believe that he has opportunity to participate in that process.
Yes.
And so the report can be taken later. So let me assure him that the door is not closed. Further engagements, like he anticipates, can be had. We are masters of our rules. We can always handle this matter. So it should calm down. will deal with this matter dispassionately. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Minority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, let me express satisfaction by way of the intervention from the Chief Whip of the majority, and particularly his choice of words by way of response. But Mr. Speaker, a fundamental preliminary matter cannot be washed away. And that is why I'm saying that I am bringing this to the attention of this House. Mr. Speaker, history will guide us. This House has had 37 or 33 against some 60 something. This House has had 137 before. This House had had 169 against some lesser odd number. And today, we are where we are. Mr. Speaker, I agree with him if he suggests to me that there will be an opportunity for engagement. But the understanding from my respected colleague was not to that effect. And I believe that fundamentally, the issue would have to be addressed before moving to the secondary stage of laying a report. Because, Mr. Speaker, when you say a report has been laid, it carries with it everything, including the very chair whose chairmanship we are questioning. I agree with you if you say that, yes, follow up with the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I would not want to make disclosures regarding my effort. But I believe that Mr. Speaker's office is an office of record. Once the minority leader ferries a memo stating reasons for an objection, if Mr. Speaker responds to me, that would then leave me with another tool available to advance my next course of action. But Mr. Speaker, I am saying that the records of this House should reflect that this happened this day in this form. If this House would allow this to happen, I am fine. Maybe today I will be at the receiving end. But nobody knows tomorrow, particularly 28.
So, Minority Leader,
so Mr. Speaker, may I conclude?
What exactly has the House done wrong?
Mr. Speaker, what I'm saying, respectfully, I would want to plead with you that hear me in full rather than putting a question to me. What I'm saying is that at the time the House accepted for this paper to be laid, I am sure the House was unaware of the intervention administratively. That is why I'm saying that I'm bringing this to the attention of the House, that there was a memo, and Mr. Speaker, don't let us forget one thing, that the committee was set up through an administrative directive by the Speaker. So I could only deal with any objection administratively, and that is what I did. Maybe you are not aware. Mr. Speaker, I believe that if you were aware that I had written a memo challenging the chairman's conduct, you would have asked for the response.
Honorable Minority Leader,
yes, Mr. Speaker.
If a paper is presented, and assuming but not admitting that the representation was done by error, is there not a remedy for it under our rules?
Mr. Speaker, that's a different matter. I am raising a fundamental issue, bringing that to the attention of the House. That being the case, Mr. Speaker, if it is your pleasure that we would have an opportunity to deal with it at a later date, or even there can be some discussion, so be it. But I do not get that impression from my colleague, the Chief Whip.
That is why I am telling you, as the person presiding at the time that the paper was laid, that the direction was that after laying the paper, the report of the committee, leadership would engage, therefore would defer the consequential motions. The motions were not going to be taken. So therefore, after the engagement, if it is established that the paper ought not to have been laid, our rules would direct us as to what to do in the circumstances. So, once leadership you are going to engage, let's abide by the outcome of that engagement.
The Speaker will raise the matter to the extent that the engagement will give rise for us to discuss the memo and all. I think it's a fair point, and I would rest my case on that point. Thank you very much.
Minority Leader, I don't think you have a case to rest in the first place.
For me, the BBS is when you're married, wabenya ye video ni bin so ahwe na me pacho mesel say comment bi a wo bia no open ne fa share comment section hon me beje na yakenkan akopon hia yi nyina na onye kese me da se bebre stay tuned for more updates me da se pa.